Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Fonts, and I of course miss seeing you at school right now, but I'm really excited to bring you a lesson about Vincent van Gogh, very famous painter and who had created thousands and thousands of paintings, and he is maybe one of the most famous painters ever. We're going to talk about and create some artwork that is based on his very, very, very famous painting called A Starry Night. Um, and what I want you to notice in this painting is the way he uses some of those very important art words that we always talk about in art class. He uses color. He really likes to use bright color. Now, this is a painting of night, so they're dark, but he does use bright colors in his paintings. He uses line a lot. You can see that those choppy brush strokes going all through the painting, swirling around, making a very exciting painting. So line is an important word that he uses a lot, and that line that he uses and the way he uses it creates a lot of movement in his painting. So your eye just likes to look all over that painting because there is so much movement in it from the line that he uses. You'll also notice a little village down in the bottom. The village kind of shows us, talks to us about where he lived. And then you'll see a big tall cypress tree in the foreground right there. So I'm going to start my drawing, and you can do this too. I'm going to use markers, but you can certainly use crayons or paint if you have paint at home. Some of you might, but I'm going to use markers. And you can see I started by just putting some dots in my sky. I'm just going to create the sky first and nothing else. I'll show you how we'll add the extra things in our pictures. But the stars are all over. Oh, it looks like I forgot to put a moon, and he definitely has a moon in his painting, but that's all right. I'll just keep stars. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some kind of warm colors. I think of stars having warm colors, and I'm going to start swirling some lines around those stars. So I'm going to start with my yellow, and I'm going to tilt my screen down so you can see what I'm doing just a little bit here. I think I'm going to swirl it. Oh, maybe this one. This one was supposed to be the moon, and then I forgot about it. So I'm going to swirl a spiral of dotted lines around that. I'm going to swirl little dotted lines there, and I'll swirl around this one too. This one's going to come and swirl around this way. And let's see, this one I'm going to swirl around this way too, dotted lines. And then, ooh, I think this one I'm going to have come all the way across the page and swirl around like that. Nice dotted lines following some of those. And then I'm also going to get my orange and kind of create a glowing effect around the stars, and so I'm going to use those dotted lines going around each of the stars like that. And, oh, and I might take that warm color and put it along some of those lines that swirl into my stars too. This one's really glowing. It has a lot of warm colors glowing from it because it's supposed to be the moon, so I'm just going to make it a gigantic star that's glowing especially bright. And then the next thing I'll start doing is creating that nighttime sky look. So I definitely want to use some blue, and I'm going to start adding in my dotted lines around, and I'm going to keep making this go around bigger and bigger. And you will see sometimes I can just do long straight lines that swirl around and some dotted lines, and I'm going to just keep filling that in. And so I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop right here and show you how far I got on another page where I finished the whole thing. I went ahead and finished this so you wouldn't have to watch me doing it. But there, that's what it would look like when it's finished. Or I could even add more blue dotted lines and swirling lines if I wanted. But that is starting to create that movement that Vincent van Gogh has in his sky. So now blue is not the only color I think of when I think of a nighttime sky. I also think of maybe purple, and I do have purple in my pack of markers. You might have purple crayons, you might have black crayons. I could use black in this too. I wasn't even thinking I could use black. So I'm going to start adding in some more lines to fill that up even more. Make it look like a nighttime sky, swirl around that one right there with my purple next and really fill it in. Now, once again, I'm not going to make you watch me fill this whole thing in. I did create another page that has all the purple worked in already. So we're just going to jump to that right now. I'm going to flip my page, and here, oh, I love this. I love the way this is turning out now. My nighttime sky is really looking swirly, lots of movement, lots of dotted and straight, well, they're not really straight, they're curved lines swirling through that nighttime sky. If I wanted, I just thought, man, I could even add a little bit of black into that if I want, to make it look even more like a nighttime sky. So I could do that. I'll tell you what though, today I'm not going to. That's up to you if you want to add in some black yet too. But I am going to show you some things I started to think about. Now I want to add, you know how Vincent van Gogh right down here had a little village. It talked about, it just showed where he used to live. He also had a big cypress tree standing tall and in the front of the painting, and the village was kind of in the background. So now I want to think about some things I could add into my drawing. Oh, wait a minute. I want to show you one thing before I move on. If you're using markers, and if they're like Crayola or those crazy art markers or a watercolor marker, this is a cool thing you can do with water and a brush. Some of you might know about this already. If you don't have a brush, you could just use a paper towel that's all wrapped up. And I thought I brought one into my room, but I don't see it right now. You could wrap up a paper towel. Maybe I'll just wrap up this paper. I'll just wrap up this paper. That'll kind of work too. A paper towel or a Kleenex would work better. But you can use this as a brush to get some water onto your picture. But watch what I can do with a brush. I'm going to tip my screen again. I can dip my brush in my water, and I can paint that water right up on top of the marker, and it starts to become a little bit like paint. So I'm just painting that around, and I don't know if you can see that, but my marker is starting to kind of bleed a little bit, and it starts to, oh, and it's also dripping because I'm tipping it up, but it starts to look a little bit like paint. So you could do that. You could also use, a paper towel. Don't know where my paper towel went, but I'm going to dip this paper in here and show you the same thing. Just get some water onto your marker and spread that water around and watch how that marker turns into paint. So that's kind of cool to do. Oh my goodness, in fact, I love it even more right there. Do you see it? That looks really cool. Okay, but now I'm going to get back to adding something in to your drawing. Okay, we've got that beautiful night sky right now. Some different things that I can do to add something in is I drew a little stick person family. This is my family. There's 5 of us. Right now, I'm the shortest one because all my kids are grown up and they're all taller than me. But I drew that little stick person family and I cut them out, and I could just use a glue stick or some white glue to glue them into my picture. Maybe right about there. And it looks like we're looking at the night sky. Maybe we're watching a meteor shower together. Another thing I thought of was I could find a magazine. You could also draw a picture of your house or a pet that you have and cut it out and glue it on like that. And then I thought, wait a minute, I have some magazines in the house, or maybe there's some cool newspaper pictures you can cut out. So we have cats. We have 3 cats. I cut out this picture of a cat out of a magazine. And I thought, wouldn't that look cool if I glue it into my picture? Oh, yes, I already love it. Already love that. Okay, so there's the cat. And the next thing is, oh, of course, I also found a dog. There's a dog. I also found a picture of a bird. I thought I could cut that out, and that would look cool in my night sky. And then when I was looking around in my house, the other thing I found was these are little little stickers that my kids had somewhere along the line. It'd be cool to glue those into my picture and look like a family trip at night. Have you ever driven late at night and you think you're never going to get to the place you're going? That could be cool in the picture. I also found these flowers that fell off of a flower necklace, and those could be fun to glue in. So I have those flowers, and I could cut out some stems out of some construction paper there and glue in some flowers into my picture. So there's lots of things you can glue in or draw and cut out and add to your Starry Night picture. I hope you enjoy doing this. I look forward to getting another lesson ready for you for the next week. Have a good day. Bye.